I beg you, the rest over to you. Ask your question. So naturally, the expert did the house inside.
Yeah, so I've even dropped Emmanuel's LinkedIn in the chat as well. So those who are really active on LinkedIn, you can connect with him over there. Yeah, he's also this one active on LinkedIn as well. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, so on that very question, what's this one Senya was talking about. So Senya, hope you've got your answer and you'll be acting based on that.
Sharp, 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 sharp.
All right, thank you. So yeah, Joshua asked, please, how do you go about the company analysis? Okay, I don't know if our Emmanuel, please, do you get the question?
Yes, I'm sure probably he's talking about equities or something like that, right? Company
Okay.
analysis on that. So I mentioned that there are many approaches that you can go. First, you can decide to go straight into the company. That's if you know the company you are trying to invest in. And even these are some things you can do, right? So I have money. There are savings and loans. Then maybe the government of Ghana is giving me 28%. A saving and loans can also be giving you 28%. A bank would give you a fixed deposit at 3%, 10% for retail investors. But you see that savings and loans will be giving 28% or whatever, something closer to what the government of Ghana is doing. But before I invest in that savings and loans, have I looked at their financials? How do I go about it by looking at their financial? This is a whole lecture. Like, look, you have a whole lesson or something on that. But these are the major things you're looking out for, right? It depends on the purpose of why you're investing in the company. If you're investing in the company for an equity reasons, where you want to buy the shares of the company, or you want to buy the company's bond, then you know what to do. So if you're buying company shares, you do what we call an equity analysis. If you are trying to buy the company's debt, you do what we call a credit analysis. If I'm to tell you what I go through, it's a whole lot. I'm sure it's not necessary for this whole thing, but what I can just let you know is speak to a professional anytime you are thinking of these things. Share your ideas with a professional, and they can assist you. But if you want to study, there are many resources on YouTube that you can use to study on equity analysis specifically. That's if you want to buy the shares, and then a credit analysis if you want to buy the bonds or you want to invest in a company, maybe through fixed deposit or something, you do what we call credit analysis on the company. There are many ratios that you look out for. So I don't want to bore everybody here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. So yeah, thank you. He's not here. Hammond, right? Isaac Hammond. Okay. So does a guy just dropped this one, the adventure of a currency trader, that the book he recommended. Yeah, someone just dropped the PDF in the community. Yeah. But me, I'm not interested in digital. I'll come directly to you for the physical copy. Yeah. So guys, the floor is still open. If you do have questions, I'll mute yourself and let's talk.
Yeah.
Say it
Emma,
again.
yes. Yeah. Charlie, hi, Charlie, how you go do? You don't get such opportunities, so as it come this way, dear Charlie, man for just will come like the way we make the market, you know. Yeah, Charlie, Emma. So I realized you spoke about then again we are digressing. I mean, you are the expert here. So Ghana here, the BOG has issued several directives about people not selling or doing business in dollars. But here, like the case, in direct defiance, we see on billboards, real estates, apartments projects being put up. To invest early bird $10 million, then $10 million. Buildings are put up.
uh,
250,000 dollars. I mean, is that does that have I mean, how does that affect Ghana's economy in its entirety? I know business wise, it makes business sense to hedge their assets in dollars, but then with the economy, given the fact that BOG has had BOG has directed many times, time without number, for everything to be done in CD. Why do they still do this in, I mean, gross defiance, openly?
Okay.
You know?
No.
Yeah.
I
So
am okay.
that's the question. Yeah.
I get your question, Senor. So the Bank of Ghana directive says that before you can market or accept dollars onshore in Ghana, right, you need to get a license from Bank of Ghana. So your business should be a business that you receive payment or whatever it is onshore in dollars in Ghana. Now, to do so, you have to request from BOG, and you'll be surprised to know that for you to do so, you have to even pay Bank of Ghana $5,000 yourself to apply for that license. So you would pay that, they will look at it, look at your assessment of your business or whatever, your justification, and then give you a license for you to receive that. So it means you can receive onshore dollars from people, charge them in dollars, and receive the money in dollars in Ghana. Now, the billboards and things you see are mostly in real estate. Some real estate firms have that license. Not everybody has that license, right? You've applied for it and have that license. Maybe that's the reason why they can be able to demonstrate. But what Bank of Ghana, or what they are trying to do is they want the CD equivalent and not the dollars that they place there, mainly because their costs were in dollar denominated and they don't want to incur FX losses as a result of the currency depreciating. So they started the project. The project will cost them maybe $2 million to build. And so if they decide to sell the listing in million Ghana cities and things, they would have made loss. Most of these projects you see, real estate projects, they all have debt. Don't assume someone has $2 million and used to build this whole signature apartment or whatever. There are debts involved, and these debts are dollar denominated. So to make payment of these debts, they rather they intend to push all these things into dollar denominated assets. But most of the time, it is always the CD equivalent is what you pay to the people. So it is $100,000 is what they've advertised. However, you pay 100,000 times the prevailing exchange rate to their Ghana CD account. You can't do that. Even you'll be surprised to know that mining firms currently, right, they sell their gold in dollars and everything, but when they are repatriating and it's coming back, it is in Ghana cedis. The Bank of Ghana urges you to do so. So you can't do that for it. You can't do that. So clearly. So even Newmont has all this gold. The gold customs look at the number of gold that you have. They record it. This is the value of the gold in dollars and everything. When you are coming, you sell the gold and the person is paying you, the government of Ghana will give you the CD equivalent of what is supposed to be to your bank account, not the dollar. So Bank of Ghana doesn't allow try to all this is just the whole impact of all this is to reduce the dollar demand on the market because we have limited dollars on the market. If you look at the reserves recently, the government of Ghana has bought a lot of gold and everything. Right now, we have close to 8 billion in dollars. The whole Ghana has almost close to 8 billion. That is gross reserve. Net reserve has income. So if we do net reserve, it means it's lower. What we have is 8 billion. The whole Ghana economy has 8 billion. And the demand for dollars is always there and it's always high. And we have liabilities we have to pay in dollars. So what the government is trying to do is trying to reduce the demand for dollars so that we transact everything in Ghana cedis and things. If you compare it to other jurisdictions, in South Africa, you can't even advertise anything in dollars. Like everything is in rands. You can't do anything in dollars. If you go to Nigeria, you see on TikTok houses are priced in naira. They're not priced in dollars. It's Ghana that we are facing this issue. It's Ghana and these countries that are always having volatile currencies like Zimbabwe that are facing issue where they price these things in dollars. But if you go to correct jurisdictions, they've actually held everything solid that you can't even sell it. Your dollars is not worth anything in this thing in some countries like that. You get it. So it's not the dollars, it's the dollar equivalent. The CD equivalent is what the real estate people are allowed to take. And Bank of Ghana, if they see that you have done anything of that sort, can come after you with the true forces of law. If you can provide the license that you are supposed to take onshore dollars, you can price in that. So normally they always write that the CD equivalent on their billboards. If you are living by, if you look at the recent driving from Shiashi and things, the billboards you see, you will notice that they are in Ghana cedis, or they write the CD
Yeah,
equivalent.
that's very true.
Mm. Okay, okay, okay. Now, and we've spoken. Then again, I mean, we are digressing. I'll come back to the forex side of things. We are still digressing there. So okay. So now insurance. Now with insurance, I don't know whether your expertise, I mean, lends you some insight into the insurance side of things here. But penetration is low, but then insurance seems, I mean, and I'm trying to read around it, I realize it's a very good thing. But the problem over here is many of us Ghanaians want to see investments rather than insurance. Um, how do you suggest, or do you know whether there are some products that's, I mean, cut across both the investing side of things and the insurance side of things? Do you know of any such products?
Um, yes. So there are insurance products that have a bit of investment and then a bit of insurance aspect to this, right? So those products, these are life insurance products. So these life insurance products, they have one, you could see that there's some sort of like educational policies. Those educational policies have an investment and also an insurance embedded into it, where yes, even though you're investing, yeah, the money is being invested, your returns is very minute because there's an insurance cover where the actual scientists have actually calculated for it and everything. So yes, you're investing for your child. You know that this investment will yield maybe 60,000 Ghana cedis. However, should anything happen to you, there will be an amount that will be given to you, your beneficiaries, that should because you are insured for as you're making that as you have purchased that product, right? So there's a bit of both an investment angle to it, and then the ins you being insured as part of it. However, you notice that the returns for the investment is almost small. That's why most people tend to not to go for this product. And yes, insurance is the penetration is very low in Ghana. Ghanaians do not even, I just gave you a clear example of even investments, right? We have 54 billion, 59 billion, and then there's almost 160 million lying outside that's not being invested. So you can imagine investment that you can even explain, and how much more you're telling insurance, say, by explaining insurance to the people, and the people are going to think like, Roger says, you want and I mean, yes, it's kind of like it's very difficult to sell an intangible assets like that. But insurance is very important. You get to know how much the whole life insurance, how the life insurance policy works in developed markets. You can imagine how much Bill Gates and all those people pay as their premiums on a monthly basis or on an annual basis, right? All of them have insurance, and insurance is part of the hedging, as we mentioned, because you have to minimize your risk. And I always advise to people that when you get to a point in your life, you have to have an insurance product. It is very important to have an insurance product as part of your financial products that you have. It's not all about investment and investment. You need to have an insurance product for your loved ones where it covers you, your family, your immediate family, even your parents too as well. That's when you get to a point in your life, because things that people take for granted, retirement and insurance.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. This is very in depth. So with this on the updates on is it Sentinel, right? Yeah, Sentinels on this one. Tech. yeah, immediately you guys push out the stuff for the retailers. We are actively anticipating for that. So kindly keep me in the loop. I will broadcast that one to our community since I've realized more of them want to go into that side, especially Senyo. So yeah, we'll broadcast it in the
Oh,
community so
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. I mean, when it's launched now, the way, the way I expect, Emmanuel has given us too much information that we have to congratulate him by signing up immediately at once. Sorry, guys, this one there, me now promote them free of charge because Charlie, he has really done us some service this evening. In fact, I shared a link to many of my colleagues, so but it's rather unfortunate. I mean, many of them maybe because it's a Saturday, they are into other programs and whatnot. They couldn't join, but hopefully the recording will be up. I'll equally share the link with others.
yeah, I actually believe so because I think more people are depending on the recording. When Cedric was sending it out, they were just asking if it will be recorded. So they think since it will be recorded, there's no need for them to be there. But then see you getting to ask the
They
key
are
questions that were on your mind.
they are missing way because for me the question I'm asking they are for me because me too I've got my own goals for the year.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. And see, me, I really learned a lot from this very one. One of my, let me see, my main key takeaways were the fact that as a trader, you need to leave your emotions out of the door and you should be very key on diversification. Okay. Yeah. So I also learned that we need to diversify and yeah, we also need to manage our risk. That's why it's called risk management. You can never do away with that. You need to manage your risk. So right
Yeah,
after this call, you
and you also
guys
ride with the big boys.
exactly ride a trend.
Ride with the big boys.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much, Emmanuel, for making the time for us. We initially this one planned to do 2 hours, but yeah, when the knowledge is too much, I think the time is not it's mostly not enough. And thank you very much for staying true to the end with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you know,
So with this, since none of you or if you do have
Hey,
contributions, questions,
last. I beg this one now we are coming back to the effects. I beg last. We are coming back to fundamentals here. Yeah. So I mean, Emma. Yeah. So with the ordinary or with the retail traders, for me, like it's only apart from Forex factory. We want to know, you experts know, where do you guys go and do your research at? So we
no.
also like, I mean, this fundamentals. We have to do a lot of reading. I mean, it's data driven. So I mean, aside the Forex factory, which I know you guys do use, and maybe my FS book, what other resources do you guys also consult in order to make your analysis? Yeah.
okay, so when you're looking at fundamentals, I mentioned that you need to know what the big boys are doing, right? So this is my experience for the fact that I left retail forex trading many years ago. And if I was to come in to retail forex trading, the idea and what I have would be way sometimes there are many times I always laugh at myself because I sort of can see a play already happening and unfortunately I can't even remember my login to my hot forex account and all those things. Right. So beginning of the like in November, the big boys have issued out their market outlook. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. These are market makers and market movers, right? They've given out their outlook for the whole next year, that's 2025, what they are thinking of what they will do or what their developments are going to look like, right? So maybe in the US, they're talking about Trump, the tariffs, what they are expecting. They've given out an outlook of what they intend to do. So you have a general or broad overview of what they are looking at. So you can look at, we just Google search JP Morgan Market Outlook 2025 PDF. It comes out. You don't have time. Control F, you just look for USD currency. They will tell you their outlook. We expect that the US would gain this. They sometimes they even give on where they think the US market is going to look like. And remember, can even give a currency pair that they are looking out for, and they can give even a level that they're looking out to as well for that currency pair. It's always a round number, maybe 1.39. They don't come and give you to the exact pips you are looking for. And remember, the big boys do not trade where they are looking for 100 pips or something. No, the big boys are looking at levels. So even if you look at even gold, when gold was trading at 1,800, it moved to 2,000. Now, 2,200. Now people are looking at there's a 2,600 mark that they're looking at. So they trade on that level. They don't look at 2,000, 2,200 and 110. What? No, those are not where the big levels people are. They are putting their orders on those round numbers of 2,801. Like that's where the levels are. So this is where maybe Goldman Sachs is purchasing this of this amount of that or whatever and whatever. And most of the time they are buying it for a specific reason. So for instance, a hedge fund in UK wants to buy US stocks. They want to buy Nvidia. Someone in Japan wants to have access to AI, to Nvidia. They have Japanese yen. So obviously these people will need how do you call it? They have Japanese yen, they will obviously need dollars. And what do you think a fund manager in Japan is doing? He'll be looking at what level it takes and also be looking at the market play in US too as well, because that's the main reason why he needs the money. US treasuries are going up. So a Japanese fund manager would want to buy US treasuries. So to buy US treasuries, there's a level that they are looking at for, not the currency. However, they're looking at the level at which maybe the market yields is going to look very lucrative to them. So they're looking at if Fed was going to increase rates or going to hike rates to decrease rates on this level. If the market suspect that, oh, Fed is going to reduce their rate cut, or they're going to actually cut rates maybe by 50 basis points, he knows that, okay, then let me try and lock in the yields. That is the mindset of the fund manager or wherever it is in Japan. Now he's going to look at his currency. He looks at his currency. No, the Japanese yen is depreciating. So then let me buy dollar now. So if he's buying dollar, he's buying 40, 50, $60 million. So that is his trend. Now, if he wants to buy it, he goes to the big boys who are the market makers. They have to remember, Forex trading is done on the OTC market, over the counter. We negotiate. So now they negotiate, and they're not negotiating on 1.20, they are negotiating on 1.31, that's where they are negotiating. And now the trade happens. When the trade happens, boom, you see the move. And now it's a $1 trillion market. You expect 40 million, 30 million to move markets. It doesn't even move a pip. It is the big boys levels that they are looking at. So you've read the market outlook. These people are saying that the US is going to gain some strength. They are thinking that the interest rate is going to make markets, people from Japan or whatever, because of, the Japanese yen has low interest rates. So since there is going to be low interest rates, there's going to be huge demand for US treasuries, US securities. So countries that are having low yielding would want to come to country S to want to have securities that are high yielding. So hence, you short those countries and you buy the countries that are going to be having the high yielding assets. Then you look for levels that you think will be the right time to buy. The levels will be maybe whatever currency pair you're looking at, 1.2, whatever, 1. Whatever. Now you look at it, you've done your technical analysis, support resistance, then you're looking for a catalyst or a good entry point. Then I said, be a long-term focused person. Don't be drawing your chart on a H4 or look at it from if you're a long-term focus, you'll be looking at it from the daily charts, right? Then you'll be looking for entry points in all those places. And then you can have your pattern recognition and all those things has a form of entry points. And then I prefer have a buy limit and things, because I told you that is where they are going to be entering. There will be some fake outs too as well. So you have to have those in mind for your entry point. And I said, ride with the wave. look at where the thing, if truly the US dollar has been gaining strength, go with the strength of the dollar. That is where it is. And have your fundamentals. Your fundamentals is saying, look, if there's the currency pair I'm looking at, be always, and I'm saying that always know one currency pair, know the countries and the economies at heart, that you know what moves the market. You don't just go all of a sudden. Know these countries. What are the things that move these countries? What are the main talking points and what is going to happen? So if you look at US, compare everything to US. What are the main talking points about US? The Fed to reduce rates. Trump is bringing tariffs. What's the effect of tariffs? Will it going to make inflation go up or go down? All those things. What is happening right now? The conversation about the Fed has been about trying to bring the yield curve down because the yield curve is not what it's supposed to be. We are not seeing the normal yield curve. So now, if the Fed is going to be doing yield curve positioning, I'm not giving a signal or anything. I'm just mentioning how I think about it in terms of a fundamental point of view, right? If the Fed is thinking about yield curve positioning, then it means they intend to think that, like, look, the long-term treasury notes in US need to go down. If it's going to go down, what is going to be the effect of other countries? Have I looked at the high yield curve? What are the fund managers going to do? If the fund managers there are not going to benefit from the yield curve going down here, they will sell their US securities and move it out here. Likewise, vice versa too as well. So I have all those things in mind and all those things before I then decide on the play. If I want to do commodities and I want to talk about oil, what is OPEC thinking? Read reports on what OPEC is saying. If OPEC is going to produce more, or they want to catch rates, or they want oil price to stabilize and things. Trump has always been saying he wants oil price to go down. What is OPEC thinking? If OPEC is saying that they think they want to increase supply, they want to increase supply of markets, right? Because Trump's whole notion is if oil price goes down, Russia is going to suffer and is going to end the war. That is what Trump is saying. You can have that as a relative strength. And if I'm going to do oil, have a strength of this is what the USD is. Now, what is it in the country I'm looking at? This oil producing country or oil exporting country, Canada. What is Canada saying? What are the macros in Canada? Canada is talking about inflation, it's talking about tariffs, it's talking about whatever, but what is it talking about in terms of oil? Now you know all these are the major factors in place before I now select on which given currency pair I want to go to. Something I'm so clear and I have an investment thesis, and then I look for entry points. So I start from the macros, calm down before I now look for an entry point. And I know now, and now I know about this. Now I have to look at my portfolio. I have $100. $100. How much do I want to expose into a single position? If I want to expose this amount, I have to, if I want to expose maybe 5% of my whole portfolio into this trade, then I'm going to do it, and this is going to be what my stop loss is going to be, and blah blah blah. So now I've done all this. Then if my trade goes well, I benefit. If my trade goes down, then I look at how did I get wrong? Maybe I entered too early. Maybe I didn't look at this news or whatever. Maybe I didn't think about this news, or the day I'm entering, that's the day NFP is coming in. I'm sure Osajifo have told you what NFPs are. Like, you are some market indicators, and so you need to have all these in mind before you gauge in your interest in things, right? Don't let me talk plenty before Charlie, time is going, cry.
Yeah. Also, in my last, so my old woman did my body. My mom was listening in, and then I mean, she's on retirement now, but then she wants to ask here. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, but it seems I've forgotten here. So aside T-bills now, I mean, given she's in her pension, so aside T-bills, what other investments can she? Why if she wants to diversify? Looking at where she is now, what do you what advice aside T-bills?
I can give you what other options are there aside T-bills, but it's up to you to make your own decision or speak to a financial
Okay,
advisor to let you know what you're supposed to do.
okay,
Right.
okay,
So, for instance, personally, I'm not comfortable with T-bills for my personal portfolio, right? I can invest it on behalf of clients and things. So I look for other alternatives that give me the same return and almost close to the yield of the T-bills, right? So I have looked at savings and loans. most people are not comfortable with savings and loans, fixed deposits, because they think savings and loans will run away, blah, blah, blah. But because they've not done analysis, they've not looked into the savings and loans that they are putting their money into and everything, right? So, for instance, I am comfortable with some savings and loans that have multinational presence, meaning they don't have they don't have only this thing in Ghana. They have operations in other African countries. Now that they have African countries, what is the quote unquote, what is Ghana exposure to the whole group, right? Is Ghana big or small? Where in case Ghana goes bad, it will affect the whole group. Now, I've looked at those. They maybe in Ghana is very small. So meaning Ghana, they have other ways they can make money in case anything, right? Now, the savings and loans, now I've looked at it from the group level. Now, come and look at it in Ghana, in terms of in Ghana perspective. Now, what I look at their financials, I look at some key metrics. How liquid are they? What are their investments in? Then, if I've seen all these things, I'm very comfortable with these savings and loans. I've looked at the investments, and then most of the time, I have friends in these institutions. So I call them and I ask them, yo, what's up? This is blah, blah, blah. They tell me, I mean, they tell me the honest truth, bro. This is if you are going through liquidity issues. They'll tell me that we are going through liquidity issues, and that's how come, blah, 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 blah. They'll tell me all those things before. So that's called qualitative analysis. You don't sit there and just do your paper analysis. Sometimes you have to talk to the people there. So I talk to the people, I do the qualitative analysis. I'm comfortable with what it is. And most of the time, I'm not doing a long-term investment. I'm just doing money markets investment, so 91 or 182. So I can be getting 28%, closer to what government is giving me there. But remember, I'm not doing government. And I know, well, how come these people are making money? They are making money through other options and things. Some are giving mobile loans. You'll be thinking mobile loans because your friends are all not paying these mobile loans. You think it's affecting their books. You'll be surprised to know mobile loans is just 4% of their non-performing loans of the mobile loans is 4%. But go and look at the non-performing loans of some banks. Some banks are sitting on 24% non-performing loans. So you look at all those things, but because you don't know or you've not had done all those research, you just be giving your money to other people and what we call the risk adjusted return doesn't match. The risk you are taking doesn't match what your returns you are getting, but because you are listening to brand names, you are missing out on other opportunities like this. So I've given you a clear example of other options that you can invest into for your grandmother. She's a retiree. She's not supposed to put her money into risk assets. She can, at this point, you can clearly say T-bills are fairly safe because we just came out from a restructuring perspective. We are under an IMF program. We don't foresee the government defaulting. People are talking about the fact that the government may restructure treasury bills and things. We don't foresee that happening at this point because of the signal that the government are giving in the recent auctions. We don't the government intends to even issue a bond in the middle of 2025. But in terms of treasury bill, from now, the next budget reading is going to be in March. So from now to March, I don't foresee anything happening until the next budget reading. That's how I have a fair idea of what the government is thinking. So if I'm going to put money, I'm not going to go too extremely long on the government because I don't know what the government is thinking. It's when they come in, they have much budget to tell me that, oh, this is what the government is thinking, and I can now decide on what to do. But I can have a fair idea of what to. But in terms of the savings and loans and things, I know what they are doing. I know where their money is. I know how they're earning money. Should in case anything happen, they can fall on their parents group because they are not more, domiciled only in Ghana. They have this in South Africa, Botswana, and things and in case something happening in Ghana, the group can fall on the financial muscles of other places to help support. So far, that's what I've been recommending to some of my friends and things to invest in, and we've not had any major issues. And most of the time, I also have people in those places. So in case anything, I just have to I call them, and I haven't had any major setback in this. But remember, as I said, there's no financial advice. Speak to a financial advisor to let your grandmother know where to put the money. I have given you indications of some of the things. I can mention names, but it's all up to you to do your own personal checks and follow up too.
Yeah, the disclaimer is very necessary.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let me take the last question. It's from the chats. When you made mention, you were talking about traders having a long-term perspective and after doing their fundamental analysis, we had Calvin asking, where can we get to read those from? So I think He asking about, is it the market outlook, or let me see, yeah, those sorts of news.
Uh, I think I just mentioned that you can do a normal regular Google file semicolon type PDF, then you just type JP Morgan JP Morgan market outlook for 2025. It will pop up. If you can follow them on LinkedIn and some of their CIOs on LinkedIn, as and when you see what their chief strategists are thinking, they come and put it online. Because it's also a marketing tool for them too as well. It's a marketing tool for them too as well. So just sometimes put it out there on what they are thinking and everything. There, you can just do a simple Google search. It's a boring, sometimes very boring, very big. You may not understand the technical jargon, but you have ChatGPT as your friend. You can just put the market outlook on ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to tell you what the outlook is for how do you call it, for currency. They will come up and tell you what it is, and you can pick it up from there. So it's not any big issue. So you can just do that, and also be following them on LinkedIn and some of their chief strategies and things. They will tell you what they are looking out for.
Okay. So guys, as he said, I just made a Google search and we have it for JP Morgan. So as he said, control, you can see the currencies, whatever you want to do. So yeah, I think Calvin, your question has been answered. So thank you, Sayo. Thank God that you don't have any other question. Yeah. So please, the next questions do ask. Let's take them in the community, okay?
No pay, no pay, no pay.
Thank you very much. You see. So thank you very much, Emmanuel. So those who asked for the number, we can talk after here, okay? And yes, I've shared this LinkedIn, so please this one utilize that one too as well. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that one being said, I will. Okay. Joshua, is that you? Someone open the whiteboard. Okay. All right. So, guys, please let's have a good night. Monday, we continue with week 3. And yeah, whatever key takeaway you had for this call, please share them in the community and make use of your LinkedIn as well. We've done personal branding and LinkedIn optimization. You guys should take advantage of that. Share your key takeaways over there too as well. Emmanuel will get to see, and yeah, he will appreciate the fact that you guys really learned a lot from the time that he dedicated to us. Thank you very much once again, Emmanuel. Peace out. Bye.